tili tanta. Pali tuli jalla, tili tuli talla, tili.
Welcome to The Good Show, episode 30, powered by ASUS, where a group of overpaid people sit down and talk bollocks about esports and pretend what they know about.
You saw that, did you?
I read Reddit. But yeah, so we're happy to be back. Bruno's influence is already on camera, as you can see. Semmler's in the part. We've also got Apollo back, but you don't know what Apollo does. But basically, before the show, he just pisses off Trance as much as possible. For the last things that Trance said before the show started, Apollo was go sit in the corner and die. So actually, Sean's gone upstairs, but we're having him back later for the StarCraft. That's true, Trance. You did actually tell him. Yeah. Anyway. So we get Apollo 1, but of course we've got our amazing corner, unrivaled in esports knowledge and trolling of forums. It is Hellspawn, Newman and Adebisi. How's it going, gentlemen?
It's really weird sitting like this. We used to be like literally pushed into the corner. Now
I liked it.
So open.
They got so much space.
So much room.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's odd.
So much room for more hand gestures.
For activities.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's amazing. Actually, yeah. Speaking of hand gestures, Bruno, I looked at his CV today because I brought him over. I didn't even look at his CV, and under some of his activities, he's got magic tricks.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I should have brought that up because he won't have one prepared now. But he's got plenty of room over there to do some magic tricks. But yeah, we're going to get into the show. But otherwise, everybody, what's everyone been up to? Anything interesting?
No, Walking Dead started yesterday. It was good. So I'm
Oh
happy.
yeah, you watch it?
Yeah, I like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
Getting better, actually.
I didn't.
Except for that, it's just snowing here in Sweden, so...
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Snowed in.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. All I saw were the Walking Dead GIFs, the upvote and downvote GIFs that, of course, come with every episode on Reddit, front page of Reddit everywhere. Walking Dead GIFs everywhere.
I haven't seen it.
Newman,
Slacking, bro.
busy at
It's been a
work.
busy week. Yeah, busy week at work. I've followed esports a bit, so it's been a good week.
Busy week on Twitter as well. We've noticed.
On Twitter?
Yeah, for you.
That is
I haven't
actually,
been on Twitter, I think.
Who's that talking right
okay.
now? We can't see.
Okay.
Who's actually talking right now?
We don't know where the camera
There's a ghost in the
is.
corner.
Can't play that card, Sam. Oh wait, is the camera still on us when they're talking? Is that what you're saying?
No, it was Trance talking. We can't actually see him because we don't have a cam.
All right. And Mike, master of the forums, reads everything.
Howdy.
Don't know why I bother.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's get into the news. You guys are probably way more up to date than this. Path of Exile is a very addictive game. So apparently, people are editing the document in front of me of what to talk about and what not to talk about. So let's go straight into what I can talk about. Riot and ESL prize money not paid out.
I mean, first of all, it's not Riot prize money.
No, it is. It's the
ESL prize money.
Riot. The Riot RP.
Yeah, ranking points.
Which is
That
counts
doesn't
as
say
in-game
that.
currency,
That's-
which is technically money.
It's money, man.
So basically, ESL
Wait,
run...
some background first.
Right, yeah.
I think it was one of the biggest topics on Reddit today. I think it was like second on Reddit all.
It's still one of the biggest topics.
Yeah,
It's still going on.
and someone has written a post that he's played a lot of tournaments on ESL. He won some of the points within inside League of Legends, but also some prize money. He made it several times. He haven't got like 2 out of 5 response, and no response from Riot, and he hasn't get paid out. And he believes, when talking to other teams, that no one has got paid for up to 6 months or something like that. And also could be said that ESL in the past has had big problems, but always paid out. But some has been delayed for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I think especially the EPS, like the Nordic ones. I think like Madfrog, for example, won in 2010 StarCraft 2. I don't think that he's got paid out to this date, although I haven't spoken with him for some months. But
especially the regional stuff that gets paid out very, very late. I know the Cold 4 players in the UK got paid like 3 years late, maybe. It's insane, really. There was a post on Reddit from one of the Go for they go for League of Legends manager, I guess, basically explaining the process of how they're paying and stuff. Said that it shouldn't be more than 6 to 8 weeks, I think.
All right.
But apparently that isn't true then, because I mean they haven't been paid.
And how big did this thread make it? You said it was on what, Reddit / all?
Yeah, it made it
it's
front
second
page.
biggest thread on Reddit basically, so it's massive.
Whoa. So it wasn't even on the League of Legends thing.
Well, it's on
It
the League of
was.
Legends subreddit, but it gets so many upvotes that it goes to the front page
Yeah.
of all
League of
Reddit.
Legends being the biggest team in the world, so.
Damn straight.
Yeah, so I mean, we all know that ESL have always taken a while to pay prize money, but apparently they always do. And this is more so, not even prize money, this is for the Riot points for the Go for League of Legends, which are a virtual currency. But what has anybody within ESL or Riot said about this? I mean, what kind of
I
responses?
think, didn't D-Man post in the topic as well?
Yeah, he did.
Just
He was
kind
saying,
of reassuring
to
them.
quote,
like-
to quote, it's right here. I have
I mean,
it. Hey
I mean, they're
everyone.
always-
Apparently, this is posted on behalf of Scott Parkin, AB Horson, who is the esports coordinator for EU, and he's basically, to sum it up, saying that we are very aware of the delay in RP pricing for ESL events. There is currently a backlog, is what is causing all this to take so much time. But he's saying that 2 months is unacceptable, and that they're working as quickly as they can to resolve this. I think the biggest point to be made here actually is the fact that it's not so much the fact that they're being late paid. It's the way that they were treated. The customer support just wasn't there.
Agreed.
He described it as being the ping pong ball, and ESL and Riot being the ping pong paddles, and he's just getting knocked about. They're just backing him. They're just putting him back and forth, and not really giving him an answer. And I think that's what drove him to actually post this post, saying, "Well, you guys really aren't giving me the service that I was asking for. You know, actually coming in on your side of the deal. So I'm going to take this public, seeing as how you aren't satisfying that."
Yeah,
And-
yes, that's correct. I mean, I think the sad part is that it's always ESL. It's always ESL that get this kind
Yeah.
of... Not always, but like in 80-90% of the cases
but
are ESL.
They have so much
they have a lot
competition,
of cups, a lot of... I mean, but they really need to like straighten this up.
But it could be said also, like from a like an organizer perspective, DreamHack has 90 days of payout, so you don't get paid until 90 days after event. And a lot, I wouldn't say a lot, but not all prize money are paid out after 90 days. Normally because it's hard to get the right information so you know who to pay out for, and prize money are not claimed within the certain time and so on.
Well, I mean,
I don't say that this is the case for ESL, but you do have a lot of laws, and you have problems like, you know, it's kids who maybe haven't earned money before, so it's hard to know how to pay out in the proper way.
But isn't this
here.
just
This doesn't seem to be the
I
issue
just
here,
want to
though.
explain, like, for example, in America, I think it's much easier because you can have a check, and you just take like 30% taxes off, and then it's done. At some tournaments they do. In like Sweden, it's a mess actually to pay out prize money. I don't know how it is with German law. I just want to add it. It
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
have to be
actually,
only ESL doing it wrong. At
the thing
all
is,
points.
it's like,
Riot's always got a
we work with obviously the Inter Extreme Masters, sending over Mike and Sean that did their previous event, and actually ESL were really good on that. They actually sent us a kind of to fill in info box with the laws and regulations depending on who you are, what company you are, and the size of your company, and just had like tick boxes basically. So on that side of things, ESL did that really well, but that's kind of been a process that I felt they've learned over time because they've employed newer people. Because when I first worked there, I just invoiced them as a self-employed person, you know what I mean? And now they're like, okay, they figured out like, you know, all the processes, and they're actually doing that really, really well.
That's business to business, though. So it's
Yeah, business to
completely
business as
different.
opposed, yeah. So, but
And also, to said, I think when Karma came to ESL, like, was it 2009? I think it was very known that Inter Extreme Masters had big delays, normally over 1 year of payments. And I think that is much better at this point. So Carmack has put a lot of effort into Inter Extreme Masters to make that better at least. I haven't got it confirmed, but from what I heard at least. So yeah, they need to shape up because the community are getting used to actually getting paid compared to like 5 years ago. We have also seen a lot of tweets, you know, with all over the place from people lacking money long time ago.
Do you think this is bad PR for ESL mostly or Riot? Because in the Riot, when they had that post from D-Man, that kind of sounded like, oh, yeah, we
Damage
at
control.
Riot have
Well,
to
I mean, in this
brew more.
circumstance, isn't it Riot points? So isn't it just a matter of Riot going in being like, oh, that's the account name, and then you just put it on. It's not like getting banking information.
Because
from people
ESL have
in
to be
this
very careful.
circumstance.
You got to understand, ESL do have to be very careful because they've just ventured into EMS with Dota 2 in a big way, and the Dota community weren't happy with ESL when they ran originally ENC, which is European Nations Cup, where they had again long prize money payouts and how the tournament was run, and also a lack of broadcasting for it back in the day. And now, they get that kind of reputation in League of Legends, even if it's small. It's quite big when it hits League of Legends because obviously you can see the amount of upvotes. But now they've also got to keep their reputation very, very good because they're putting in a lot of money from the raid pool into EMS for Dota as well. So it's, for me, if I was a player, I would be like, I'm entering this because the prize money looks big. I hope it works out.
It should be said though that ESL so far has always paid out. I think that's nothing to doubt with, and I also think that ESL financially and structure-wise do have the capacity to solve these problems. And I think that it's just important that they actually act now because it got so big, and it's important for them to get better.
It's a sad thing to say that they should act now because it got big, rather than
but that's
why
always
even
the
let
thing
it
with
get
ESL,
big.
that they're also going to act now when they get called out. Basically, it's always like once every 6 months they get called out, and then they're gonna improve.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit tiring, to be honest.
Sound like an addict. They're going to change their ways, but they're having so much trouble.
Well, either way,
they're just not strong enough.
They are a company.
They're a big company, so they should be able to get someone to pay out money.
I mean,
I think the main problem has been they've been so decentralized. They don't have one system where they pay out everything. It's like up to so many different divisions, and I think that really has hurt them because if it's one thing that you have to do is to pay out the money, that's like number one, pay out the prize money, and they cannot delay, especially when they don't respond. And I don't think they will say, okay, you won this, but you will get your money in 2 years. Of course, they are like delaying it in some way or another.
Yeah, but it's worth mentioning they are a big company. They do pay out, and they have always done in the long run. But
I mean, still
German organization. It's going to be better. Let's move on. Is everyone okay with that? Okay, so Twitch TV updates its commercial policy, basically stating that less pre-rolls and also implementing 3-minute advertisement breaks. So did anyone read much more about this?
I've seen some complaints and stuff, but I think it's a good move. I think the last
people complaining about the changes.
Yeah, some of the changes. Apparently, when you seen an ad, you have to actually click play again. Apparently,
now.
Yeah.
Oh, is this
Really?
the change?
That's
Is
what
this
I
the
heard.
recent
No.
change due to?
No, that cannot.
that was one of the complaints I saw. At least I haven't checked it myself.
No,
but-
the way it works, the way it works is the pre-roll kicks in. The only difference is you have to let it run fully, right?
Okay.
And then if you have to refresh it and do whatever, you won't get one in the span of 5 minutes,
Yeah.
like it happened before.
Uh-huh.
So you just need to that one.
What
that
about
you
the
get
black
basically
screen that
played
you
out.
constantly get these days that has the close this window?
Yeah. What?
What's that about?
You mean the ads?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some
like
of the
the pre-roll will run, but then you still have to
some of the
click
ads,
on it and
some
close.
of the ads are broken.
Yeah.
And the
Oh,
data
okay,
is
that's
forced
what
to
people are
identify
complaining.
them.
Yeah, it's just-
Yeah,
take out.
and that's not, I guess, into this system or can be connected. But for me, I like it that like normally swap around between them, and then you watch the ad, and then you have to like change and get a new ad.
Yeah,
and a
Can
new
I
ad.
put my tinfoil hat on?
Like normally, I open like 15 Twitch TV streams at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Turn off the music and just try to close down, the sound of everybody, so I can swap around.
Why didn't you just mute your PC?
Yeah,
15 seconds.
yeah, but you have to, when you want to have the sound, you have to turn it off on the other streams. Anyway, overall, I think this is really good for the users. I also think it's good for the streamers that they can actually have a proper break and have commercials be run, so they can actually have a good break. The sad part, I guess, would be that actually Twitch should be making less money and the streamer should be making less money because it would be less impressions made.
Yeah.
That can be the only part.
Tin hat time.
There
So,
will-
the reason why, guys, there are broken ads going out there right now is because written at the bottom of that broken ad page is improve your experience, your Twitch TV experience, go Turbo. And what does Turbo do? It gets rid of ads.
We can see it here.
So get rid of the
actually.
broken
You
ads.
get rid of the ads. You get rid of everything.
Broken ads.
You
All
go Turbo, you pay $10 a month, boom. Taking care of
Actually,
Twitch. We know what you're up to.
This
look,
shit, yeah.
Loading ad, remove this screen, support the good studio, and level up your Twitch experience. Go turbo. Actually, I do have a
That's
little bit.
bad.
I'm actually very disappointed with that wording.
Yeah.
Because I feel it's so misleading. Because at the end of the day, right?
Support us.
Right, at the end of the day, it's like support the good studio and level up your. I've got a Maya Rose up because I was looking at her Twitter, by the way, if anyone noticed that. Because apparently she wants to marry Snoopy. But the problem with that wording is basically you're saying support the good studio and level up your Twitch experience, go turbo. But at the end of the day, it's like support the good studio, subscribe is what supports the good studio. Because if you go turbo, we get an ad impression even if you don't see what was going to be an ad.
Cool.
And so I really don't like that wording. Like
They just
I think
copied
that's,
it, right? They just copied over what it would say before.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It's
if
basically-
anything, it's just them not doing their due diligence. Because I saw other people complain, and
Dude, they're trying to
And
promote it every
maybe
way.
I don't
Maybe
think
they'll
they thought
change
this through, to be honest.
Huh?
I don't think they thought it through, that wording, basically.
Yeah,
They just
no, I think it's
changed
horrible wording.
Go turbo to from, like...
But,
And less clicking. I can pay $8 a month if I get less clicking.
Yeah, but
I think in
going
general-
back
Good
to
job, Hellspawn. How much did they pay you for that comment?
Going back to the kind of the way that people run ads, I do think as well it's really good that they offer like a 3-minute ad break, because at the end of the day, I do feel like we don't have to turn into TV, but some of the structure of TV is very good, and they've obviously learned how to work with advertisers and such. And I believe when I've seen someone play a good 30-40 minute Dota game, I'd rather him just put on 3 minutes of adverts, and then if I'm there and I'm watching it, I'm there watching it. If I want to go get a glass of water, it's you, because like even on TV, like you put your ads on TV, there's no guarantee that the person's still going to be there between the advertisement break. But at the end of the day, I think the structure is a lot nicer for streamers and users. So I'm quite happy.
It's moving towards a TV system, basically.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good. It's a good move. It's going to be easier. It's going to be easier switching between channels as well. So it's,
Yeah,
no.
just fix that black shit because that looked really bad in the way they was communicated.
Yep.
On blast. Hold on, let's check the chat and see.
James, if you're
watching
reading this, stop reading chat. Jorasa.
Hey, Jorasa. Viewer list.
All right, so anything more to say on Twitch apart from their chat system needs to be more awesome lately?
Apart from their money
More
grubbing
awesome.
whores? No.
I think
Functional.
I don't think they are that.
NASL couldn't even pull the chat, man.
Huh?
Chance of shit.
NASL couldn't even do their chat polls. Well, I guess Lauren Lees was on vacation, but I don't
Hey,
know, just
dude.
the chat not working
Dude.
sucks.
Dude, I wasn't in the NASL chat because I was at the University Star
League.
University Star League event, and they got less viewers than they normally do. I think I'm a big feature to the NASL. How Too Good gets banned from chat. Admittedly, Lauren
Send the
Louise wasn't
invoice.
there, and I wasn't there. Where were we?
Clutch wasn't there.
I think it's interesting to see the way Twitch are moving at the moment. I mean, they know they have a window until Asubu launch and maybe someone else. So I think they're really pushing like features now and really improving.
I think
I think this stuff they just did was kind of inevitable. I mean, it just there are changes that make sense.
Yeah.
But maybe Turbo, you could
Well,
say that.
but yeah,
I
they
think
have a
both of
window
them took
that-
more than like 3 to 6 months to somewhere.
Yeah, but they
between
have a
that.
window now to roll out improvements and basically lock in people to Twitch, and it's interesting to see how they're doing it.
What definitely needs to happen with Twitch over the time when they have the majority, or if you even call it, the monopoly, is actually build. I can't think of the word, huh?
A calendar?
No, yeah, they need to do that. I've been telling them that for a year.
Programming guide?
No, they need to do that. I told that
VOD
for a
archive
year.
system?
Huh?
Never mind.
Proper VOD system.
I didn't hear that last one. Just some brand loyalty with consumers right
Goodwill.
now. Yeah, because really, no, it's the ability to you're in a position where you're quite powerful within esports and the gaming industry. And someone will always come along and offer you a higher CPM to try and get you over like they did Destiny. I think they really need to focus on
You're
brand
talking
loyalty.
about brand loyalty towards the content producers then, I guess, and not
Yeah,
the
both,
viewers.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, the users to the content producers and the content producers to Twitch TV.
So I mean, the viewers are always going to go to where the best content are being produced. That's like
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I think it's a very interesting year to follow Twitch TV and their decision making. But anyway, there you have it. So they've updated their commercial policy, so it's going to be a little bit more like the TV side of things. But of course, that helps you with the pre-rolls if you're clicking around streams like Hellspawn, and also gives the users the ability to run a 3-minute ad impression if they are partners. That's worth mentioning as well. So League of Legends Championship Series began.
I was so excited.
You were?
You don't sound excited.
Don't lie. Don't
No,
lie.
thing was like I didn't see from the get-go when it started. It was first day or Friday. I think it was first day. And then I tuned in maybe 30 minutes. It was like when the end of the first match or game. And then I saw Ringtone and Freak talking. Really nice desk, really nice studio. I really
nice
liked
desk.
it looked
Big desk.
yeah, but it
desk.
looked actually
So size does matter, Hellspawn.
yeah, but it looked better than before, I would say.
Uh-huh.
And they were talking, it was interesting, they were talking, and they were talking, and they were talking, and after
Reminds me of something.
after about like 15 minutes, I felt like, okay, I'm so fucking bored, even though I'm so excited about this thing. And then they got on the camera shot on the players, I felt like, alright, it's really cool. Could have used them maybe after 5 minutes, so I could at least see who's playing. And then I felt like no overlays. They went into commercials, up with the logo, nothing else. I think it was very unpolished. And the same thing goes on when they go to ESL. I was like, okay, ESL, they're gonna nail this. And they had Shocks. She did a good presentation. They had some people there, but like no, wasn't what I was expecting. I
Yeah,
expected
it
more.
just felt like the qualifier broadcast. It felt like
Yep.
because I always tune in to see like what are they doing, what does it look like, and I was kind of expecting some stuff like league whatever, just stuff to kind of make it more something. But it was
Yeah.
just like they're just doing the same thing. But
Yeah, that's exactly my impression. Like,
Kinda
I
hit
watched
the
the
bar there.
qualifiers, and then I tuned in to watch this, and it looked exactly the same as the qualifiers, and it's a very rinse-repeat broadcast. Don't know what happened there, but it's a very rinse-repeat broadcast from day to day. So, like, for me, as someone outside of League of Legends, I have absolutely no connection whatsoever. I can imagine the people that really like League of Legends are enjoying it as much as the Dota 2 community, like kind of like the international and stuff, because you get your players on a daily basis and you get your broadcasts and your commentators. But for me, I just felt, yeah, they could have done more, but I completely just had no connection. I couldn't tell you. I've actually had a couple of games up, and I was just like, okay, I need to have something going on so I can talk about it. And I can't even remember who beat who. The only thing I can remember from the broadcast is at the end of the game, when they're going off camera, does Freak go for a fist bump or a high five? So far, it's about 50-50. But that's the only thing I look forward to. Like, what's Freak going to go for at the end of the broadcast?
There's definitely a lot of room for improvement. I think that's the takeaway from this first week.
They will have to improve, and I think they should improve a lot. But the numbers were great. I think, doing rebroadcast, having Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, best teams, best games, still very exciting. And just seeing these big organizations facing off, I think it's going to be like a really good storytelling, and I really like it. But I just was expecting, more content, all these interviews from the teams, just a really, really smooth and nice TV production.
Even CGS did more.
Yeah,
a lot more.
CGS was really cool when you actually saw it.
Yeah.
Even though the games and the format was broken.
Yeah.
Here the game is good and the format is great, I would say.
Wouldn't say that, but go on then.
Yeah, but compared to CGS at least. But no.
Yeah, but
It was
it's
not the
really
same.
funny because CGS did something like this where they wanted to have CGS for the finals. If you it's very similar in a way, right? So if you were a pro player and you were trying to qualify to play either Dead or Alive,
Yeah.
FIFA, Counter-Strike Source,
Gotham Racing
Gotham Racing.
and FIFA.
Yeah, okay.
okay.
So basically what happened
Sorry.
was, right, there were these
FIFA
qualifiers. There were these
Gotham
qualifiers
Racing?
around the world, and I actually went to a couple of them, and I was hosting with Red Eye at the English one, right? And the production was a TV production shit. And if you qualified and got picked by a team manager, you would be flown over to, was it LA? Where was it? It was like
Yeah, it was
Venice
LA.
Beach or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
LA.
And you would get 3,000 euros a month as a low level of the team would get a little bit more. Managers would get paid salary, and then you would be available to go down to the Sony studios and film the constant ongoing CGS weekly kind of shows, yeah? But the content that they did between them with all the interviews, all the storylines and all the kind of player hype and even how they were like all on the bench similar to Pro League and then the player would go up and, you know, all that kind of stuff was so much better than what Riot have done within League of Legends. But CGS was absolutely bullshit because they broke the games to make them available to go on TV, meaning that like Counter-Strike was looked in third person and the round limit and it was horrible. Right? So they completely fucked it up. But League of Legends have the game how they want it, but they haven't done the exterior to any level higher than anyone else despite the amount of money they're putting in, which is surprising because it just looks like they've watched what the StarCraft have done, watched what, you know, this happened, watched what's that happened and just taken that and gone, boom.
I think that's what they've done though, because last year all they did was they worked with all the big leagues and then sent their people there, did those events, and then they've kind of just ported that into a daily broadcast.
Yeah, I think you can compare it to
I mean, even with their
NESL.
game itself, right? They just saw another game and then...
Yeah, but like...
I think you can compare it to NESL, their first season, where it was basically, I mean, not a lot of side content and the league was kind of rough, basically. I know most of the teams moved in very close to the first games were being played. So they probably didn't have time to do any side content for this first week.
But
I'm guessing they're going to do side content the rest of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then use that for the broadcast and
That's
stuff.
how it should be, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's going to improve a lot over the season.
Yeah. But I would hope so. But even like the international kind of was so much more.
Yeah, I mean,
You cannot compare that.
This is going to be like
It's
a
one-off event
50
versus
week
a season.
before
But-
the season.
I mean, they didn't take the chance they had with... I mean, this could have been done online, it felt like. You know, having the teams
anyway.
and the casters there didn't add that value that I was expecting.
All right, let's move on. Remember, guys, support the good studio. If you subscribe and we get enough subscribers, we'll never talk about League of Legends again. Because we're pay off.
I do think also worth mentioning is there's also streamed on YouTube Live, and you could
Oh, yeah.
you could pause and rewind and everything.
This is something I saw as
How
well.
was the numbers there?
YouTube Live was 20,000.
Really?
Yeah,
At first.
and then they had problems. But actually, YouTube Live, when you watch the stream, it was way better quality.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, you know, the compression with YouTube, when you watch a stream on YouTube and on Twitch, YouTube, the compression is just, the technique is
And they had a DVR
so much
function,
better.
Yeah,
so
we
you could
feel
actually
like
rewind.
Yeah, you could actually rewind live,
to watch
etc.
your favorite
really sick.
moment.
fucking great compression.
But yeah, Twitch capped out over 200,000, and it was still stable.
Yeah, I know at one point the YouTube got up to over 100, I think, when there were
really?
problems with both of the streams or something. And there was a big thread on the League of Legends subreddit saying
But oddly
that
enough, if
YouTube
we-
is so great, blah, blah.
Oddly enough, have we got the numbers on what the actual prize money is for this season?
No.
I've looked.
Yeah.
I looked the whole
It's
bunch.
like you've got players committing, you've got the community there watching, and no one knows what you're going to
I find it
win.
weird. 'cause
$100 million.
Well, because last season
Season
they said...
to be
2,
more.
they said, I thought it was
5
supposed to be
million.
5 million, but
And it
then
was
there was
3.
an infographic on
It's
that
3.5.
people seemed to say was true, and it was not even 4. So
Was 3.8 or 3.9 or something?
I'll take
3.5,
your
I
word
thought.
for it.
So,
But that's not 5.
That's
That's
not
like the NASA $100,000.
yeah.
They have
Alright,
committed
anyway.
to a shitload of money though to the team.
Maybe they're
so
going to give it
it's-
out.
That's
Yeah, maybe
the
they
thing.
gave
That's
it
the
out
thing.
in RP.
As far as the teams are concerned, they're
Oh,
getting a
yeah.
paycheck, they're getting a
Yeah.
place to live. Fuck it, you know? They're set for now.
Yeah, I've heard like players are around like $3,000 or
Yeah.
something salary.
Something
From
like that.
Riot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have the team salary on top?
Yeah.
No, I don't think teams are going to be like bothered
Well, I
about
don't
paying.
know. I'm pretty sure that teams are. They
Well,
have
why
their
should you be
contracts
labeled SK then?
And they're
No,
right.
well, I mean, EG
Yeah.
said that their team is the highest paid League of Legends team there is, right?
Yeah.
Well,
so
they have no
So-
idea how much other teams are being paid as well.
Wait,
so EG
Newman,
still-
you've got a League of
Dignitas
Legends
number
team.
1.
How
I
much?
think we're
How much
number
are they
one.
getting paid?
I can't say.
Oh,
But we're paying on top
$1
of the
million.
League of or of the right money, basically.
Are you paying on top of Ryan money?
Yeah.
yeah.
Ooh.
Well,
You
why
should do-
else would you? be
Otherwise,
a
it
part
could be
of a
Hellspawn's
and-
team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Foreshadowing.
drinks. Free
Foreshadowing.
drinks.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on quickly before we lose more viewers.
No,
Oh,
we're
God,
losing,
who's writing
viewers
this-
to a Meepo team.
Who's writing this document? It just gets worse. Virgin Gaming tournaments in LA. The NHL
quick.
13, Madden 13, and FIFA 13
Yay.
have a lot of prize money.
I wonder if these tournaments are actually going to happen, unlike the Battlefield.
No,
tournament.
they happen.
They already happened.
This weekend.
Whoa!
Shit, one of your players was supposed to be there. I'm pretty
I mean,
sure.
I thought these were new ones.
One of your
Right,
FIFA
anyway.
Red Eye
players.
was hosting at least the
Yeah.
FIFA, which started off. Sweden, I would say, like thanks to the Swedish Championship, had 4 players top 32, and the Swede won. The Boros Legend won $140,000. That's like more than any other player or team in Sweden ever won in esports. Like it's like the biggest ever, and he did it with such a style. You know, his control,
watch it?
his controller went broke after the first goal, and then he came back 1-3-1 in the final.
Not to be like that, it's a really,
Really
good,
cool.
It's a really good win, but I mean, I think this player won last year,
Yeah.
and it's so random. It's crazy.
I don't know so much about the game.
All right,
Do
moving
we
on.
know enough?
I want
But the
to.
stream was
I
shitty.
think
The stream was shitty. Great.
For
okay.
$1 million tournament, it's like maybe take $800,000 and take 200 into the production of it.
Yeah.
All right, where did they stream it to?
It was on Twitch, and it was just. Was it only on Twitch? I think so.
think
I
so.
saw like 20,000 viewers or
Okay,
something.
all right, cool.
Yeah, me
Right,
too.
we're moving on from this, guys.
It
Sorry.
was in LA.
Huh?
Las Vegas.
All right, we're moving on.
I think last year
You're doing
they,
this.
they had a final on top of a skyscraper with 2 players playing like towards each other.
Really?
basically. Yeah.
This time they were like sitting like this and playing for 1 minute. So shit.
Okay, yeah, because Virgin Gaming also, as Mike said, like announced a Battlefield ages ago, and no one's seen that tournament.
1.6 million.
1.6 million.
Doesn't happen.
Yep, hasn't happened. All right then, so
Or
ESEA
did.
final getting closer. $36,000. Top 4 North American, top 4 EU, and this is for Counter Strike Go. ESEA, right?
Yep.
Who's?
And it's not decided where it will be and when. It seems to be target about 1 month, I would guess.
This is quite big. It's one of the. I mean, what was your prize pool for CS:GO during that winter?
Oh, let's see. It was 300,000 Swedish crowns.
So about about $40,000.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
No, it's more. Should be like
Yeah, it
4 or
probably
5,
is, but it's one of the biggest prize pools. But like, can you tell us anybody about ESEA and what this means for Counter Strike Go?
I think the American division is really good and it's very close. I think like if it's 5 or 6 teams fighting for it, so seems like the American scene is better than maybe it was in 1.6. In the European, I think NIP is topping and dominating.
Yep.
But I think it was ESEA, but I'm not sure. But 1 week ago, they played 16-14 against Ver Games, and I think Ver Games were like up 13-2 after the first half. So at least some teams are getting closer to NIP,
But
which
what-
is good.
What does this mean for the Counter Strike Go players in terms of activity in tournaments? I mean, how is it kind of played out? Is it something regular that they have to compete
Yeah,
in?
it's like a ladder or like a season.
Okay.
So they're facing off each other, and then who's on top.
Is it going to be broadcasted?
I think it has been broadcasted, but not on by ESEA. I think it's like a community stream. I think.
Okay,
I
so
think that's there's a Danish streamer streaming it basically.
basically they've got the money and the organization, but don't have the production value to make it worth the sponsors well.
Is it the LAN finals as well, or is it?
Yeah, it would be LAN finals.
Okay, well maybe they're focusing on the LAN finals because it's a bit of a shame if you're going to put that much money in.
Oh.
You're going to do the online section and you're not going to bring in at least 10,000 viewers when you get NIP play with a decent
It's
production.
I guess,
I
yeah.
mean, it's a bet from ESEA as well. I think they need to support CS:GO and make it big to have their business model keep functioning in the future. Because if
Because
1.6
basically
dies or source dies, it's gonna be. I mean, that's the end of ESEA as well.
Their business is like you pay subscription and play on their servers, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so they have a subscription on the website, and that opens up the servers, the Counter-Strike Go servers, or
And
So
let's
the-
see.
Ladders and
Okay.
rankings
Is
or
it
not.
Torbal or is it Midway or is it both of them working? It's Torbal, right?
It's Craig Levine. Yeah. I'm not sure Midway's on.
Isn't
No, it's
Torvald-
not
No,
Midway
Torbal.
with- I thought Midway was with ESL.
ESL.
Yeah, and ESL.
So it's Torbal who was manager and owner of 3D.
Yep.
And also made a lot of work for CGS in the backbone.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see how that kind of unfolds. It will be interesting.
Oh,
because
here's
it's-
something interesting to go back. Red Eye just tweeted, all backlogged ESL prize money will be paid at the end of February.
Okay.
From all time? Or
I don't know. That's
whole back
They're paying
Sounds like
out
a big
$1
order.
kind of
million
spells it out for you, doesn't it?
I guess he's talking about what's happening with the riot stuff because I mean everybody wants.
I mean, that is
There's
the
a
most recent
ticketing
shitstorm.
system, and Ralph Riker is going to conduct an AMA on Reddit.
All right, so this thing, actually,
they're
I think
really
this is
taking
actually a
serious.
cool statement because over the last 12 years, the ESL has paid out over 12 million dollars in prize money. I mean, that's quite a lot of prize money, man.
Yeah, but that's what you sell to your sponsors. You're like, would you like a tournament? And they go, yeah. And you go,
Yeah, but still,
here's here's what you're gonna have to pay in prize money. It's not like why. Thank you for the prize money. We just hold on this for a couple of years, put it in a bank, bonds.
But I really
Make an
like
investment.
that. I see it's Affentod who has taken the post, and it's a statement. It's going to be an MA with Ralph, who is the CEO. So I think it's good at least that the ESL is reacting and taking this serious and solving it now once and for all.
They really
You
have to
know-
take it serious as well because it's number 2 on Reddit. It's
You know,
a
you-
massive
They were
impact-
forced.
It's a massive
you
impact.
want to know
for the brand.
one story I know? It's pretty fucked up, right? World of Warcraft, SK gamer Ryan. Remember Ryan, the quite serious guy that played like a paladin or priest or something?
You mean Hydra, right?
No, the American guy,
Oh, right. You mean
the SK US.
yeah, the priest.
Yeah, right. I can't remember his nickname now, right? So a really funny thing is
Reels. You mean
Reels.
Reels? Yeah, he was a rogue from the beginning and became a priest. Yeah.
I'll tell you something, which is you know,
Realsome, yeah.
because he's not in the scene anymore, so it's quite funny. So ESL, World of Warcraft, a lot of prize money,
Really big.
yeah, really big, and the payouts were going to be slow again. Okay, you know, it was like I don't think it was esports was on the up, and I do sympathise with like ESL because I know how hard it can be with like a company, you know, finances, and so Ryan doesn't get his prize money. And he's like, why am I getting my prize money like in a proper time? This is pretty retarded. Just so happened his dad worked at Intel. So after an email from his father saying, Real's got his prize money before anybody.
This happens a lot.
all
I mean,
Like, how stupid is that, bro?
yeah, it's, I mean, this
but
happens.
that's what he
this
told
this
me,
is
so
quite-
I
this
don't
is
hear
quite
ESL
I mean,
side
this is
of
quite
things.
common.
Yeah.
I mean, for us being sponsored by Intel, it's always been easier getting prize money out of ESL.
Yeah.
It's basically going.
I mean,
to
when
the
I was in
door.
Fnatic
Interesting.
ESWC, I got my prize money way sooner than other people would have when we were all saying you need to start paying this because we were represented by Fnatic. But yeah, his father was in Intel and actually spoke to Intel internally and was like, "This is happening over here, and this is our brand," and then got his son paid pretty quickly.
It's
that
good
was
that they're
funny.
taking it seriously.
Anyway,
They should have 5 years ago as well.
Well,
yeah, let's move on.
let's not hold our breath, I think is the point to take away from this thing, is how they covered their asses already in the official statement, saying, oh, by the way, if we haven't paid you by the end of
Yes.
February,
But-
ticket.
To be honest,
Fight them all, those motherfucking
to be honest, I
corporate
think
dogs!
yeah, but I think they're gonna pay. To be honest,
Huh? So
actually, I think they're gonna solve it.
You think they're going to solve it?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm kind
it's
of
a ticketing
sure.
system, I'm sure they will. Let's move on.
I'm actually impressed that ESL stayed alive as a company over some of the downtime.
Well,
Agreed.
And I
They
actually
lost-
think that's one of the biggest
They
reasons.
lost a shitload of money 2010, and they lost money 2011 as well. So
Anyway. Moving on. Wargaming is launching their own professional league for World of Tanks. 2.5 million prize purse. So this is I call this the Riot effect, to be honest.
No, this is the Valve effect. This is the Valve effect. You have
this
to
is
be
the
true.
right effect.
No,
I mean,
no, it's the Valve effect.
It's
Who
a
came out
riot
first? Who
effect.
came out first with the
Semmler,
1.6?
stop. Let Semmler explain.
All right, we can explain this because Valve came out with the big $1 million tournament. What happened afterwards? LoL came out with theirs. It turned into a pissing contest between the two. Now everybody has to come out with their big $1 million tournament just to stay on par. But the first one, at least in our recent time, in our recent history here, I would say is Valve, who started with this big multi-million dollar or $1 million prize money. Riot brought it into multi-million, but with that, we can't just say, oh, it's Riot's fault. Do you actually have your ears plugged? No. Okay.
No,
But I mean, just to explain. Wargaming with World of Tanks has been a promotional game of, I think, Inter Extreme Masters, or
Yeah,
been at least at their Gamescom and Exhibit,
dude,
and
like-
also at WCG. So I think that this was the next natural
Yeah,
step
but
for
like,
them.
the thing is, the reason why I call it the Riot effect is because it's a league.
Yeah.
as opposed to a one-off
They're
event.
bringing the tournaments
Yes.
into their
So they're
production.
basically doing the thing like we will control what we want our game to be as
Sure.
an esport. What are you?
What are you giggling about?
Yeah, there's I don't know what it is.
Trans.
So I called it the right. I called it the right effect.
That's awesome. I wish I had that fucking medallion. All right, go ahead, continue.
Thank you, Semmler. I call it the right effect, yeah, because it's a league, but it's as I said, it's Wargaming wanting to control where their brand's going to go with esports. And I've always said that esports has always been primarily the financial gain for the developer and publisher. So there's no reason why they shouldn't. And in many ways, I do give props to Riot for being able to put these amount of pro gamers on a full-time salary. That's amazing, okay? I don't take that away. Doesn't matter. I don't like the game, that's fine. But it's interesting. But World of Tanks have been throwing way more money than this around. This is pittance for them. 2.5 million in prize money. That company spend a lot. When we went to Gamescom,
Crazy parties and stuff. Yeah.
like I went to their party and saw like Swedish House Mafia live there, and then they also had when we didn't go to that one. What was it? They threw a party with LMAFO, and we didn't go. We went to some club I knew,
Too
and it
cool,
was
man.
crazy.
I'm too cool for that shit.
Yeah.
They're running a pro league.
I couldn't be
together
bothered queuing up because it was horrible the first time around. But the thing is, and then when they went to Gamescom, for the international, where the international one was, the international one booth was pretty big, and it was adequate to make the tournament run. And then on the World of Tanks one, you've got this LED screen, or LED, yeah. LED screen that was as big as I've ever seen. That would easily cost
Yeah, it was
it would
crazy.
cost like $500,000 just to make that, right? Like
They
how
had,
much?
they had a really cool booth this 2012.
Yeah, but like, so the thing is that they're really big into being the big spender, making a lot of noise, and it's worked for them in Russia. That's the thing. It's worked for them in Eastern Europe. I don't necessarily think that I think this is. You can justify this less than you can justify the spends on League of Legends as the
definitely.
difference in game size. So
I think World of Tanks needs to get bigger in Western Europe and America for it to succeed. Like,
yeah, that's their aim. But I don't think it will grow.
They're running a pro league together with ESL as well, €300,000.
Anyway, we'll leave it at that. But moving on to topic, a game with less of a chance to succeed in World of Tanks is obviously Shoot Mania, which has gone into open beta.
Yay!
Woo! Cool.
They're putting so much effort into this esports thing in Shoot Mania, but they still do this random game mode that they're using that
What?
people don't seem to like.
The 1v3, but they love the 1v3. They're so like.
Yeah, they love it, but I think the spectators don't really
Are
love
they?
it.
I mean, I remember first time I heard about Shootmania and it came live, it felt like, we're going to focus on making a game where everybody else can mod, making weapons, making maps and stuff like that. It felt like, okay, maybe this can turn into something cool, but just taking so long, I haven't really seen the game development so big. Seems to be kind of the same for me, and I don't really like the format either, and I don't know, it's they're throwing away money, in my opinion. Like IPL 5, they had $100,000, and I think they had like
it dropped down to 60, wasn't it? But whatever. Point
no,
blank.
it was $100,000.
It was 100.
They
And
took
it
some
was-
of the
it
prize
had
money.
like,
but
I don't know,
Oh, and
peak
put
of
it
like
into travel costs. That's right.
they had like a peak of 2,000 concurrent. It was less than the Quake Live tournament with $10,000 of Remax. So I don't know, gonna be at IPL 6? I think
yeah,
so.
it will be.
yeah.
And I mean, they're still doing their daily broadcasts too. So I mean, they're putting out tons of Shoot Mania content.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone open beta, so we'll see what happens with it. But
I think their problem is they're trying to do some sort of a Riot approach here as well, but it's not a lean back casual game. It's basically
No.
Quake.
It's very hard to pump money into an FPS game in that style of marketing, just because of where the majority of gamers enjoy spending their time now, which is more MOBA, more the MMOs, more RPGs, as opposed to a really intense FPS game.
Yeah.
Even though an FPS game in esports would be amazing. I hope someone makes one really fucking soon.
Should be said. I've seen.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
good-
actually it's more of a warning than anything. For you in particular with Reborn. Look at how Shoot Mania are going about things. Look at how they're building their game from the esports from the ground up. We saw it with BLC. We're seeing it with Shootmania. And actually, there's a crazy similarity between BLC, the way the BLC carried itself, which was go forward, don't actually listen to the community, take bits and pieces, but don't pay attention to the big warning messages that are coming out from the community. From what I heard and speaking with some Shootmania guys, it's kind of happening over there as well, where they have their vision and they have blinders on, and they're not really paying attention to feedback or anything else that's really coming out from people. So they have this vision of an esport game. And without the community to back it, like we saw with BLC, if you don't have the community to back the game, it's not going to work. It's not going to have the oomph to carry it forward. Look at LoL. LoL did it right. They had the massive fucking worldwide community, and then they go into esports because they have guaranteed viewership. Guaranteed people who are going to watch that game.
Like it depends on the business model
and all that. Well, yeah, but this is something that we've seen. So I'm just saying that we've seen this in the past with other games. So we'll see how they decide to go forward from here.
NATO haven't won over their current gamer base. That's a fact. Like NATO haven't won over the FPS gamer base, and even the ones playing it, not so much. They had Trackmania, which was amazing. But anyway, it's gone open beta. We'll leave it at that.
It's all the shirt. The shirt more often.
All right, then, moving on, we've got some irrelevant news here. DreamHack announces dates. Hellspawn is going to be dating...
Yeah.
Maya Rose?
In his dreams.
So, DreamHack have announced dates for their events in 2013. You've got DreamHack Open in Stockholm in April. You've got Summer again, which will be the main DreamHack Summer, June. Valencia, back to Spain in July. Bucharest, where Don't Bring Your Wallets, is in September. And Winter, once again in Sweden, Jönköping. So, there are 5 announced. And...
Any more?
Has anything changed from the original plans with the dates and the venues?
I mean, of course, until you have set the venue, you don't have a date, and until that, it's not set.
Oh, so there might be more to come.
These are the events that we have presented for the DreamHack Open, so that's what we're going for.
Ooh, I hope Robert's watching.
Oh shit!
Checking if you're doing a good job.
We felt that it was important to give out the date so at least people know what to expect and what's coming.
Okay.
Because we haven't communicated that much since DreamHack Winter. So
because you've all been on fucking holiday.
I don't want to say any pre-announcement, but of course it's around the corner to launch the DreamHack Open.
Can we ask
what
one
are going to be?
We're going to ask lots of questions.
We're both holding our hands up here. I feel like we're in class. Like,
Hellspawn.
Pick you want to go first?
No, he's got a pick.
Oh, okay, pick.
I'll go with Semmler.
What happened to London?
I don't know what you mean. Like we haven't
What do you mean?
talked about the London event, so
Nothing at all?
of course we look always into new markets.
Uh-huh.
We've looked at, let's see, I don't know how many different countries, but I mean in Valencia and Bucharest, the reason is because we have a long-term partnership with people there that we know that are doing really good esports stuff, and we work together in a good way, and it's not so easy to walk into new markets. So that's the reason, of course. And I mean, last year's the Stockholm event was a huge success, especially as Thorstein, the homeboy, won the tournament. I think that
you got hopes for Bling or what?
I think like Valencia would be even bigger and better, and I know that Bucharest would be much bigger. It's a new venue. I can release that at least, and it's going to be really cool actually. So I'm personally looking forward to Bucharest a lot. Of course, summer, winter is always kick-ass in Jönköping.
I had a great time in Bucharest.
Really? Yeah, but
Not a good time at the doctor afterwards, though, right? Some bad news.
She was dressed as a nurse. I paid extra.
I think it's interesting to see that he dropped the title sponsor from the actual name.
All right. Anyway,
we haven't released the game or the games, and we haven't released the sponsors yet. So that's yet to come.
The game. What do you mean? All the games?
They're adding World of Tanks.
Oh yeah.
Are you,
That was the original plan, but now they released this 2.5
You're
million.
obviously going to be doing StarCraft too.
You already said they're doing Heart of the Swarm. So
What
that's
I've
kind of-
said, and I think it was a little bit misled, but I didn't.
So you're not doing
No,
that
no,
Okay.
wait.
All
I'm gonna
right,
explain.
so it's
What
not
I
Starcraft.
said is that
Your T-shirt is oozing with
Heart
fluff,
of the-
man.
After Heart of the Swarm.
Give the people something.
Under there.
Oozing
No,
with
no,
fluff.
no, no. I'm gonna say what I've stated here on the show.
Robert.
Because I think that was what everybody was referring to, is that after Heart of the Swarm release, we will only run Heart of the Swarm tournament, so we will not have Wings of Liberty after Heart of the Swarm release. That's what I said.
Okay, well, we'll let you off for the rest of the show.
Look this time, man.
All right, then. So that really kind of brings us to the end of our first segment. And when we come back, we're going into StarCraft 2. Apparently, today's Twitter, which is a new segment, has been brought... Today's tweet has been brought up by Hellspawn, where Maya Rose asked Snoopy to marry him.
I just thought it was like kind of hilarious in the way that I was on the subway, and then Snoopy came back with that, like, you know, I'm EG, I cannot marry a porn star. And then it just, like, you know, Idra came back with it. I think it's a lot of people. Travis was there. The Muslim, I think Elaine from Twitch also came into it. It was just like a snowballing effect of everything. And it was just really funny. I think I think then afterwards they went after John Clark, especially Idra, I think.
I heard
So it was like the Twitter conversation of the day, I would say. So.
Oh, what? Oh shit!
I think Mia didn't see.
Man.
She should have seen that coming, but I think that she took it a little bit like, screw you guys.
She saw this coming then, I guess.
Anyway, that's our little bit of drama.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that.
Fucking hell.
Okay. So, moving on, we're going to go to a 3-minute commercial, which is the new commercial length, perfect for a smoke break. When we come back, we're going to have Apollo for some StarCraft 2. So we're going to get an extra mic. We might not be able to see the lovely faces of both Hellspawn and Newman, but they're going to fight it out and wrestle to the death to see who gets to stay on the show. You don't look very enthusiastic. Break time. All right, then, welcome back to The Good Show, episode 30, powered by Asus, the lovely people that let us do their tournaments, let us abuse their PCs for streaming, and generally call them dwarves. That's going great.
Hello, Marcus.
Hope he's watching.
I did too.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
We're here with StarCraft 2. I just had this overwhelming...
You're killing it. You're
overwhelming impression that I've just killed the show in one opening. We're here with StarCraft 2, so we've got Sean. He's back from England, or Wales, and there he is. How's it going, Sean?
Yeah, really good, thanks. It's good to be on episode number 30, the same as your age.
Look at that.
So attentive, so close to Valentine's Day as well. I really appreciate all these compliments, or observations as more that one was.
Yeah, less of a compliment there.
Yeah. Hey, compliment for you, Sean. Been working out, I can tell.
Yeah, why
he's
are you
he's wearing a
sleeves,
nice
man?
tight
Come
shirt
on.
and everything. Look at this.
It's not a long tight sleeve, it's long.
Dude,
but-
like the fucked up thing, right, is that Sean started working out a little while ago, and I was like, yeah. And but the thing is Sean treats working out the same as he treats anything he does, which is just meticulously overworking. So when he does Heart of the Swarm, he's constantly like, we don't work with Sean. He just lives here and does whatever he does with Heart of the Swarm in his room. And he started working out, and he's like, how many times a week now?
It's usual's like 4 times.
Are you just basically doing this? And next time you go to an event with Caldor and he tries to take the finals, you can actually put up a good fight.
Yeah. I mean, didn't cast the IEM Poland finals because I got out-muscled, so next tournament hopefully we'll be looking to get into the finals.
All right, yeah, we'll leave it at that. We've got Sideshow Hellspawn, who's off in the corner. You're right there. Can we get your hand in the screen at all? Is it possible?
I don't know.
Can you even
Maybe
reach?
he's got a label.
There you go. See? It's Hellspawn.
Maybe
Sorry, I
something
took your
like
place,
that.
mate.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, Sean. You're looking good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, then. And we're going into the StarCraft 2 section. It feels weird to give compliments on the good show when all we seem to do is bash people. You've got to be feeling pretty scared that something's going to happen.
Well,
But
what's
anyway,
your opinion on Semmler's shirt today, James? There's been a lot of discussion about it, so you didn't really talk about it.
Similar
so-
shirt?
Yeah.
I said it's the Bruno effect.
Bruno effect.
No, this is the Semmler effect, mate.
What's that?
Looking fucking fly as fuck, obviously. I've got a pick. I'm going to have a red hat next time and a fucking medallion. We're going to make it happen. Count on it.
Can you buy the Semmler effect, or is it something you're just born with, or is
just
it more
natural-
of a
It's
disease?
developed
More of,
over
you know,
years.
the French
infection.
and American genes clashing, and they come out with the Semmler effect. There
So
you go.
more of a disease, kind of like how gingers
Oh yeah.
made.
Better than gingers, I'd have to say.
Okay.
I mean, I have a soul. You know.
Your shirt does. Let's go into the news. StarCraft 2. I'm going to read these out. Why? Dude, that's a weird thing to show me. I can't even... He's showing me porn.
Is that Mia Rose?
No.
His favorite pterodactyl.
Yeah, I saw it in the chat.
Fucking,
That's why.
He's got a crush on her.
You know, I'd hate to burst bubbles right now because this is a really awkward time, but I only have a limited amount of time to talk StarCraft, guys.
Oh, shit, yeah, because you're doing...
I have to go in about 40 minutes.
You're going
45
on the
minutes.
show Climbing the Ladder.
Climbing the Ladder.
With Chanman V, which will be on at 10 o'clock, and
So
Apollo is the
instead
guest.
of looking at porn Hellspawn,
It's a chat. They are obsessed.
That's like when you Semmler, come on now.
It's the chat that are obsessed, and I just can't stop clicking. Chat, stop linking Hellspawn things, okay? It's... Yes. And CC,
wow.
CC Robert in here, he'd actually appreciate it. Okay. College, is that you say College Gate? Is that how you say that, Mike?
College Gate.
Yeah, College Gate, Star
College
League.
Gate Star League.
College Gate, Star League.
Collegiate
Grand-
Star League.
Collegiate Gate Star League
That's
Grand
actually,
Finals this
3000.
weekend in California, produced by the NASL. So this is a like a university Star League thing. The colleges in America, which
Yeah, I
are
mean,
universities.
it's really
European as
actually,
well.
if you look like years and years ago, comparing the University Star League here to where the CSL started, because the CSL years ago was just, I believe it started with Berkeley, and it's just kind of grown since then. And this season, I mean, it's $80,000 sponsored by
the
Azubu.
Subu? Yeah.
Azubu, yeah.
It's the Azubu Star League.
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, $40,000 for
But
the first place team.
There's been a lot of controversy around this one, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a lot of stuff where their new website didn't come in as good, and so a lot of people were upset about that. And then the finals were going to be hosted in Korea, so all the people would have to go to Korea. But then Suppi actually wrote like a big appeal to the CSL, got a ton of community support, and so now it will be in California again. Which
Yeah,
is,
that's good.
Not only that,
Which-
Los Angeles. It's literally 15 minutes away from my house.
Oh.
Yeah, man. It's
Shame
in
you're
a
in
great
Sweden.
venue.
Shame you're
No,
stuck
really,
here.
they found a really good venue. It's right in front of. It's right, pretty much in the heart of like what's happening in Los Angeles. So they're gonna have so many things to do around there as well.
Yeah,
It's not only CSL. Like there's a lot there. So it's really cool. I wish I was still kind of in LA right
So
now.
who actually owns the CSL? Is it like a joint thingy or?
it's,
What's Azubu?
I mean, it,
now, right?
well, they've sponsored
Yeah, they
it.
sponsored
I don't
the
think
last
they
title
really own
sponsor,
it.
yeah.
I think maybe now because I mean, Riot I know heavily supports the League of Legends side of it, but I mean, it was started by I think now basically the people running it are Xeris, who used to be the NASL commissioner, and he went on full time when Azubu came with it, and then Hazley Nut has been pretty much
Wasn't
running
he working
it
for
too.
Fnatic before?
Yeah, well, he was
Yeah.
doing both. Yeah,
That's the guy that leaked all Fnatic's player salaries.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
As soon as he left Fnatic, he was like, "Fuck you," and released all that
'Cause
public.
it's turning into a really big
information.
league in the US. It's interesting.
Yeah. So NASL are going to be producing it. Do you think that's something that NASL are doing for a pay or?
I mean, I'm not sure the extent of it. I'm guessing it's probably more kind of a similar to us going and helping out, but probably on a bigger scale. Because Xeris used to, as we said, work as the league commissioner. So I don't know, and I mean, I don't know the extent they're producing it. It may not even. This is just because they said they weren't going to do any of their weekend shows because they're taking a bunch of equipment there, and I think they said too their production team was going to be there. I mean, it's not a big team, but either way, the stream should be really nice, and the venue is
gonna be
similar.
sick.
Set,
Well, how is the competition level within the colleges these days?
That's the thing.
I mean, it's like
It's not super high, but it's high for
yeah.
It's like
what you'd
Masters.
expect.
You got
Hey,
Kawhi
high
Rice who's playing for
masters.
High
Washington.
masters.
You've got Suppi who's
Yeah.
playing for Berkeley. You have a
Well, that's
European
just
team
a couple
from
of players spread
Denmark.
across multiple
Yeah.
colleges.
And you
Okay.
also have a Korean team.
Well, yeah, it's a really good initiative, and we actually turned up and helped out with the University Star League recently in Stockholm. We didn't want to kind of take over the show, so we just did a couple cameos, a couple of interviews, and a couple casts. And it's really a good thing to build because actually the universities and colleges have huge power when it comes to marketing, because once you say to someone external, whether it be like McDonald's, you can get branding within the university. That's actually a very powerful thing. So they actually have quite a good advantage on the business side.
And also combined with the facilities and equipment that you can use, and then you can tap into
and the amount
like,
of talent that the universities have that people
huge.
are interested in doing.
I mean, the Lone Star Clash is another good example of something that grew out of kind of CSL initiatives, and then they've done 2 really big events now. I think they've got another in the works. So
it's actually one of these projects with the business model that can work year after year, because you focus on the universities and the colleges. So I don't think they're going to go away for a long time. And it's like my brother was a university, Will, and he was like the president for activities and social groups for a year. And basically he got to work with people like McDonald's and like all these, big companies that I in esports wouldn't be able to talk to in many cases, will have an easy time. But because he's connected to X amount of thousand students and has connections with all the other student unions, it's a very kind of promising and good-looking thing for the sponsors. So Azubu is quite a esporty sponsor, so I'd be interested to see if they can get more mainstream.
If they're going to season 7 as well with it, I mean, sure they're putting a lot of money into season 6, but if they do season 7, but onto the college angle, it's really good because it blooms a lot of other talent. It's not just necessarily players. There's production guys, video guys, graphics guys that can all come out from school and do that, and they can work and produce good stuff, and then can go higher. They can go to an MLG, go to an ASL, depending on where they get employed. And another good point too. I had a good point. 1 second.
I have one if you want. You can have it.
Is also that if you think about when I was in school, the different kind of clubs and sports you had back then, they were for a badge or something. This is $80,000. Imagine going to school and be like, StarCraft play over here. $80,000 tournament coming up this weekend. It's good exposure too across all the students at uni.
Yeah, no, it's really good. So
this is just to say, this is something that we were talking about a lot because of what we were doing this weekend with the UniSL. But this is the kind of gateway into the mainstream. You can have all the pro leagues you wish, but the one that's going to give longevity to a scene and the one that's really going to push things forward is getting set up in the colleges and in the high schools, and having a legitimate league in the colleges that gives access to the media, that gives access to the students from a young age, and say, hey, look at, from what Paul just said, look at how much money you can make off of this, look at how much time, and the teams are actually taking this quite seriously as well, because Washington, the team, just to put a point out there, is that they actually boot camped through their entire winter break. They spent like 2 weeks at Kawhi Rice's house just training day in, day out for this event. So it's like the teams are taking it seriously. Everybody's getting on board with this, and I think it's going to be fantastic because season 7, if they top this, it's going to be massive. You could have mainstream media commentating on this sort of thing.
All right, then. Yeah, I agree. So let's see how it pans out. It's going to be the grand finals this weekend in California. So if you're around the area, drop by. And also, it's produced by the NASL.
Casted by Day 9.
And Day 9 setting up there. That's great. Well done.
Megumi X as well.
Well done him. So Rob Simpson, Hellspawn, are you laughing at chat? I go Hellspawn. Okay, yeah. Rob Simpson, the esport manager for about 4 years. One of the esport managers at Blizzard has now left Blizzard to join Red Bull Media House.
It's a cool move.
Huh?
It's a cool move. I mean, Red Bull is most likely the coolest brand in the world, I would say. And Rob Simpson has been with Blizzard for a long time, so...
Yeah, so
good step, I guess.
Interestingly enough, I got to speak to Red Bull a while ago, and they were telling me about all their kind of departments and how it works. Now, Red Bull Media House is the people that do actually get to make the majority of decisions on what gets spent where and why. But esports for Red Bull actually comes under sports. So it's, the sports department and the budgets that are spent on sports are also the ones that go with esports, which is quite interesting. And even though Red Bull actually have a gaming side to their media house as well, but they work mostly on like kind of games and putting stuff in, like if they got a car that they're going to put in like GTA or something in the future, or they do Facebook stuff or things with their website. So I'm not sure where Rob's going to land within the company, but it's good to have someone from esports that's done 4 years at Blizzard. He's turned up at MLGs a long time ago. to be in Red Bull Media House, because so far Red Bull, they haven't really done anything that good.
Well, I haven't followed through.
Yeah,
I mean,
like lately.
Sponsor Startail, and they did the Red Bull Gaming, and I think that something that I talked about here at the show, but forgot it on the stream, was that, I mean, coming into 2012, I think a lot of people talked about Day 9 and Red Bull Gaming, and what happened was that no one was mentioning it in the end. So I think they lost a lot of momentum, and they were not a big dog as people were expecting. So I don't know if Rob Simpson is going to work with esports at all. I mean, I guess he will still be in America, and I guess still the major decisions are made in the headquarters in Austria. So I think that the Americans are like, on their own with the American market. I guess, I don't know how Red Bull works, but
I just haven't been overwhelmed by how good Red Bull could have done in this industry for their brand and with the industry as well. And it's very similar to Extreme Sports and what they did for them.
But with Rob moving, though, that could be signs of good things to come. Because why would they hire him?
But Rob Simpson's very young as well.
Yeah.
Like, he is in his early 20s, right?
I want to say so. I mean,
I don't know if that's ever
only
going
a
to
couple
affect
years
something,
older
but
than
like
me,
he's someone that's done, okay, you've done 4 years at Blizzard, and then you touched, you went to a couple MLG events. It's not like you've got someone with a whole host of experience. You've got someone with probably who is very nice, is very good at his job, because he, stayed 4 years at Blizzard. I get fired within like a month. But I don't know, like what Red Bull have done has been very underwhelming. So I really hope that Rob Simpson gets, because normally when you join a company, you get to kind of be like, we're hiring you because we want to do something within what your expertise are, which are obviously esports, and then they give you budgets to actually do something. So I'd hoped for more stuff to happen from Red Bull side.
And also, I mean, Rob Simpson for Blizzard esports has been the face, I would say. Like, he's the one speaking. Not everybody's Blizzard are that you don't see that many faces from Blizzard actually when thinking about such a big company. So it's going to be interesting to see who will be the major face. I think they've made some changes also, how they structure their like esports and the community base.
So Mike, you know Rob quite well. Has you got any kind of stuff that we should or shouldn't know?
I talked to him briefly, and he was like, I've just been really busy playing for my new job, but it's like he didn't really say much about what he's going to be doing. I don't think he quite knows yet too much, so
okay.
I really don't know, but I mean, he was happy. We more talked about like how life is as opposed to what the hell he's going to be doing.
Is he still going to raves?
He asked me about music I like, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I just like hit random. Apollo can tell you I got terrible taste in music.
What was the event I was with him not so long ago?
BWC?
No, it was in America. It was like
MLG?
probably the last MLG he was around, and he still had his Raven hoodie on. And when he went out, he zipped it up, so he's still the same old Rob.
Well, we'll see where it goes, but it is an interesting movement.
I kind of wonder more about where Blizzard is going, because you see so many of these companies expanding their esports divisions and everything, and I mean,
Trance.
Wow.
Well, yeah, Trance is giving up on producing. Weapons is producing now.
He's out of here.
Yeah. But yeah, with Blizzard, it feels. What was I going to say? Yeah, the community manager side of things are actually also now the esport department. So the esport department for Blizzard actually kind of grew because they put both departments together. So your esport department and your community department are now become one, if you know what I mean. So it's esports and community management. So in a sense, they've grown because they're treating esports as a larger part of the company, but we don't know how many employees have been now crossing over. But it's always seemed to me that Blizzard have taken esports a little bit more seriously every year of success that everyone's had.
Agreed.
So let's move on. MLG broadcast rain versus flying incorrectly, mixing up the players.
Yeah.
So do you want to give us the breakdown on this, Mike?
What it was?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
What it was?
See, he's so used to just being like, all right,
sorry,
Mike,
Mike.
what
Well, no, the
happened?
thing is, Mike's
And
allowed
now
to-
Apollo's
Mike's-
here, and it's so nice.
Mike's
Oh
allowed
my
to-
God.
So
Can Newman take this one?
They got the replay files, right? And there was a barcode for one player, and then the other player was called Ryu, like RYO. And then they didn't know who was who, and they assumed
Ryu Rain.
that Rain was Ryu because it started with an R. That was the official statement from Axel Toss.
Whoops.
And they obviously were the different players, so Rain was the barcode, and
No, I've got it up in front of me.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I honestly, I
Well,
can't
you think it's
believe-
funny, but like, Mike,
I mean,
come on.
I mean, I laughed. I'm not gonna lie, but
Of course you did.
I think it's like ridiculous though. I mean, if this was like two non-Korean players that people kind of knew, if this was like Naniwa and Sase playing a PvP and they mixed the names up, people would have gone ape shit.
Yeah.
And I think this just highlights how, because I mean, NASL in the past they admitted that they've broadcast 2 1s as 2 0s and other stuff, and it's like, I mean, you draw the parallel to professional sports, and it's just like.
But if you look
How
at
do you broadcast? I mean, I understand the mistake, but it's like I feel like these organizations at this point need to be better about like putting in checks to make sure stuff like this doesn't happen.
Because it is obviously what happened. They had a bulk amount of replays sent in from their Korean contact. These are all our games. They're like, all right, well, this one we've come down to. Don't really know. Let's take a stab in the dark because they have to do the broadcast. But either way,
I think it's a problem of having too few administrators in the company. Basically, I think they have the casters and some production. They don't have enough people doing admin work.
Wait. We have some kind of microphone situation here.
All right, we got a microphone situation.
We need to solve it.
So Trans left the room a minute
everything
ago,
goes
and Web
to shit.
has.
Is it me?
he said it
Yeah,
might be
but
certain
so
about
you can put the
connections.
earphones in, and you
Can
can
you-
hear who's.
I heard it up there, but I
I've
don't
got
know
my
which
ones.
mic it is.
But just turn off a mic and see if it's good.
Don't play with that too much,
Yeah,
because that will make
definitely it's the
noises.
Connections probably. But either way,
NASL sound guy.
All right, who is it? Who is it? Is it me? Is it my mic? Can you put your earphones in? We do a sound check live. Webheads, come on. You got your earphone? Am I okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay.
Wait, I'm gonna mute everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Sound
right.
beautiful.
Yeah. You gonna be a sound?
Semmler?
Javla Dota player.
Yeah, it works. I
Okay.
don't know who's number 3, but
All right, someone else, is that me?
That's you?
Oh,
I think
baby.
3 is you, right?
yeah, 4 is Newman.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh.
what's up, dog?
Well, that was just
Is it
cracky
mine?
anyways. Like, how's he supposed
Is
to tell the
this
difference
the
if it's fucked or not?
Yeah, it works now.
Maybe it works.
It's
Better
fine.
now. This
Careful
it's
with the
fine
mic
now.
connections, guys. Is the underline.
It's fixed now.
Well done, Weppers. Well done, mate.
Better than
Who
Ferris.
needs Trents? You
We
fixed
solve
it.
it like a pro. Okay, move on.
All right, yeah. So hopefully people got that discussion.
Yeah.
But basically, we were talking MLG mixed up rain and flying, and it was very embarrassing. But if you actually compare it to if that happened in real sports or to high-level European players, the community would have gone more apeshit on it.
I think one of the
It's
biggest
kind
things with it, just to
how do you do that?
to say something before it finishes off, is that it was funny because both players used 2 different styles. One of them, Rain, used all the new Heart of the Swarm units. He played a new style, and Flying didn't. He played like it was Wings Liberty. So people were like, Rain's not adapting very well in this game, is he? He's playing terrible. And he was actually the one doing all that cool stuff. So it's kind of a
Right.
downside.
And actually, just on a similar topic too, they just the other night they had their ESF qualifiers getting streamed live in Korean when the broadcast was supposed to be held until sometime next week. So, are we having more audio issues?
Yeah, it's just how we were talking. I don't know if it's you.
Wow.
It's Adebisi. It's obviously Adebisi. The
Is
chat
your,
has spoken.
is
He
your,
feels guilty, but what has he
Adebisi,
done
fuck
wrong?
you. Fuck you, Mike. Fuck you, Mike. Adebisi,
I'm
fucking
gonna.
stop.
Should I unplug this?
Please stop.
No, just make
Should
sure
we
it's
pass around
connected.
this? Should we just like unmute these things? Pass around
Sit in
this?
the corner.
It might be a
with
good
the mic.
option.
It might be Hellspawn.
Well, Webhaz, you're in charge of
If
production.
it starts sounding again, I'm gonna try and mute Hellspawn and see what happens.
Okay.
You figure it out, Weppers. You be our detective.
For some reason, I just feel Trans is underpaid lately.
This is what he's doing.
Yeah, I think this is purpose. This here's the year.
Is it because of the comments I made about Twitch earlier, Trans? Did that
Okay,
piss you off?
I'm in the document. So,
Let's move on.
but let's move on and see how the sound handles the next segment. MLG announces StarCraft 2 broadcast talent for Dallas.
Can I take it?
Yep.
Sure, go for it.
Really good lineup. I think it's the first time In Control is doing MLG, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I think what I could read from it, a lot of people are happy if they announced the pairs, like the caster pairs. But it looks really good. Strong, solid.
So can we officially call In Control a caster now, not a
No,
player?
I think it's just because there's no open bracket. Usually, that's all he goes off of his open bracket.
No,
so-
well, he openly said before the reason he wasn't
Mike,
casting for. Well,
Make sure that your microphone is away from your beard because that can cause like scratching and sounds.
Oh shit!
My,
This scrub over here.
is that what?
Well, no, I'm just like that's what
Someone
I
needs to
know.
call
It's not like rubbing against my face. So
All right, so let's see if when Mike talks.
just kill me.
All right,
It's you.
Is it? Is
I don't know.
that-
I'm gonna watch chat. Go on, Mike. Do it.
I think it's this microphone, to be honest.
It's fine now. Keep going, Mike.
Keep going.
Okay, well, I mean, all I was going to say was that In Control said before the reason he wasn't doing MLG was because of sponsorship conflicts and whatnot with EG and MLG. So I don't know what changed or whatever.
I know
but-
what changed.
What changed?
What, that NOS doesn't sponsor MLG now?
I saw a picture from League of Legends LCS with a shot on the
Oh, yeah.
right.
I called
right-
it too.
Right arm
I called it
of
too.
an EG player, and it said Astro.
Yeah, but
That's
Astro doesn't
right.
sponsor MLG anymore.
All right.
Doesn't sponsor MLG anymore,
Come
but
on.
But they were using Razer headphones as well, which was quite funny.
Well, I
that's
think they haven't
Stefano
announced
and-
Astro yet,
It's like
so they're
Stefano
not
uses
using.
Razer.
They
Rose
just
uses
announced
Razer on EG.
Razer, so it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it
Really
was your
weird.
mic. It was your beard, Mike. They seem to be.
Shave Adebisi.
Apparently, we're gonna have to shave you,
Shave.
Live
but
shave.
it's fine now. It's not touching.
Kill me.
You're just happy it's not your hair, aren't you, James?
Yeah, so the caster lineup, I can bring it up here just so you can see. Wepaz, you got this.
Boom!
Oh,
Well, you
Wepaz.
gotta drop the news on the.
So
clock.
you got Day 9, DJ Wheat, Husky, Total Biscuit, In Control, Axlab, Axel Toss, and the floor reporter is Anna Proza. So yeah, there was a few people saying why no Apollo, but I can tell them basically fucking busy. So
A lot of
it's
stuff to do.
yeah,
Unwanted.
like
Yeah.
so hopefully next time or something, we get Apollo to an NLG. So if people were wondering about that, there wasn't. Desro messaged me and was like, "Was Apollo asking?"
He messaged me too.
He was like,
cheeky little
were you
guy.
asking for too many $100 bills or something? I was like, no, he's actually just really busy. Couldn't make it this time round. But the casting lineup overall, do you like it?
Who's MLG clashing with this year? The first one? Is it DreamHack or?
No.
Nobody. I think.
I'm just wondering because if he's busy, then
No, but I
where is he
think-
going?
Maybe he's got work. Maybe he's got work with a good studio.
Oh shit!
I mean,
And we're
just
clashing
like,
with MLG.
yeah. I mean, for transparency,
King of the
like
Hill
I'm
events.
not going, and I'm already booked for 3 events in March. And like after November last year, I think you had the same thing. It's like,
I had 4 events in 4 weeks in November, man.
yeah, it's
I
like,
don't think I can't remember November actually.
yeah, no, you just like it's terrible going to that many events.
Mm.
But the casting, we spoke about it before. It's interesting that MLG take a different route for casting. They have their in-house too, but they also emphasize a lot more on YouTube personalities rather than esport commentators, which is a approach they take. I suppose they're looking at followership numbers and YouTube subscribers and stuff, which is a lot different to other companies such as ESL, who have Colaris and look for rather esports commentators, because there is a difference. There's quite a
sure.
big difference.
Did they have Husky in there in the
Yes.
last?
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting with
Total
Husky. It's
Biscuit.
kind of like he kind of pokes his head out every now and then, goes to an MLG,
Yeah.
makes sure he's there, but then he just kind of goes back to
Well,
making
this
YouTube
is
videos.
his comeback event, isn't it? Because he did all the MLGs, then didn't like doing all the MLGs because it was too much, too draining, then stopped doing events.
Well, I mean, he also said, like, he was on the executives kind of going on about how he makes more money just staying home making videos, so
Yeah.
why
Well,
should he go to events?
Total Biscuit probably does as well.
Yeah, no, well,
Day night
there's
Does
no
too.
Total
question.
Biscuit reputedly not
Um,
take money for doing events?
I don't know.
I think that's something that he's mentioned in the past, that he
Yeah.
actually doesn't take money for doing events, that he uses
I
it as
think
promotion.
I think he does.
I think he
You think he
does.
does?
Pretty sure.
No, I
he gets
think
paid.
I think I've heard it doesn't.
He
take
might have done in the
No,
past.
that's something that he told us, actually.
I guess it depends.
Yeah,
on
but
the
if you
event.
think about
You
with
work
all
for
his-
DreamHack,
with all
Mel?
his older contracts, Total Biscuit always used to be like, you don't have
Yeah,
to pay me, but
exactly.
I'll take all your videos and put them on YouTube and make more money anyway.
Well, yeah, but
Yes.
also give you exposure.
Yeah,
I mean,
at the
he
same
does
time.
have hands out there, so. But
But
yeah,
if he doesn't get anything out of it, such as he's not going to get VODs from MLG, so I'm suppose he's taking a fee. So
I think both Husky and Total Biscuit like to do events
Yeah.
and cast StarCraft 2 and be with the esport community. So
They might
I don't think it's so much about like the boycott or like salaries and stuff like that. It's more like
they both love the game, mate.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're marketing themselves as well, so it's.
Yep.
I mean the lineup. Yeah, it's very YouTube starstruck as well. So hopefully there's a lot of people that will watch and enjoy.
First Heart of the Swarm event too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
It's also the same week as release, so.
What I thought was kind of interesting is when they get rid of the open bracket, that's when they add the floor reporter. So
yeah, the floor reporter would have been
That's
way
actually
better
kinda
in the
funny.
open bracket.
Did you?
Yeah.
I mean, while we're talking about talent of MLG, did you see Clutch's tweets? How he quoted Shakespeare.
What?
It was something about backstabbing and
yeah,
with a couple of fancy words in the middle, basically, because it's a Shakespeare quote, and he put
He's
that
angry?
out there.
I think
If you
well,
look
you
at
could
all
also
read it
say
through, I
that he
think
is,
you can
yeah.
kind of put two and two
If you
together.
watch the NASL
Yeah.
Pulse, they asked him about is he doing an MLG, and he kind of was like basically no, and
It's his bread and butter, isn't it? Really?
though those that are betrayed do feel the treason sharply, yet the traitor stands in worst case of woe. William Shakespeare. I like
And
Clutch.
then if you go up, there's people tweeting him about not going to MLG, and he retweets them. So if you put
yeah.
everything together,
Oh shit!
plus
It's
he's
true,
done-
Clutch fans.
he's
MLG
done
has
every
chosen
MLG.
not to
he
have it.
works for NASL full
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Of course, they're gonna be
MLG have
invited.
been very kind of like so long back in the days when they spoke about ESL. They never said ESL on their stream. They always called it over
A
in
European
Germany.
tournament. Yeah.
across the pond.
At another tournament.
Yeah, but the thing is, they might not be like Clutch to them in how they run their business. Might be too close to a
Well, I mean,
competitor.
Mr. Bitter, Rotterdam aren't going, and they kind of were also kind of a staple to have as well.
Well, how do you think MLG felt when Clutch initially, it was built at MLG and then took a job?
Well,
at
but they didn't
NASL?
give him a job at MLG. He was getting paid
Yeah, but-
per event.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
Yeah, but the thing is, if he's getting paid per event and you've built him up and you're giving him, like, I don't know, it could be anywhere around $500 per event, which is very underpaid, and then he's done a great job, and you're thinking to yourselves, and I would be like, let's have a meeting, talk about locking in for the whole year, and then if you know that you work with MLG and you get this amount of money for a whole year, then you go, well, that's not enough to sustain myself. I'm going to go have to look for another job. Hello, NASL, I can do this. Oh, you offered me a job. You can go back to MLG and be like, look, I've got this job over here, and if I do it, it might. Does that change anything with our business relationship? And then you sort it out that way. But the fact is, it's like, what's the problem for Clutch? Because it's like he's full-time NASL. There's a great product over there. He's working on it. Like, why should he care about not going to an
his
MLG?
tweets, there's obviously a communication breakdown between Clutch and MLG on what they wanted from each other, basically.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Clutch obviously wanted to
Clutch
do
will
MLG.
probably tell you on Twitter right now at, what's his Twitter account?
Clutch 08.
08.
Yeah, go and follow at Clutch08 and he'll tell you what's happening.
There's never going to be a shortage of people that can host as well, in my
So,
opinion.
I quite
So-
like Clutch's coaching. I think he's kind of a staple of MLG.
Well,
to
it's
be
kind
honest.
of
It's
it's kind of
good,
like
but
he
it's
was
like-
always
He
the
was the
face of
MLG.
MLG.
Yeah, he was the MLG
so-
host.
Nah,
There's been some
I
classic
felt
moments too, like
What?
the baseball bat dance and stuff like that.
Isn't this going to be the first one he hasn't hosted in like a
Introing
year and
the
a half
Kespa
or
players
something?
and stuff, like
Yeah.
I think the hosting part and the interviews and that, like, the stage part of MLG has always been a little bit like quirky, or what you can say. I never
Quirky.
felt like it's been so spot on.
Yeah.
And I think that what Clutch has done with NASL has been better and suited him more. And I think that just like people, especially talent, I would say, maybe shouldn't be so drama-ish about this stuff. Like I don't really like his kind of tweets.
Yeah, but the funny thing is as well is that we've spent more time talking about MLG's talent than we have about the players that are going and the competition.
Big
It
problem.
kind of encompaces the StarCraft 2 scene, doesn't
It
it?
kind of shows what everyone likes to talk about, because on Reddit, the casters no one really talks about the players who've qualified, are they?
yeah,
Well,
nobody cared that they broadcast two players swapped around, but then the
Yeah.
caster lineup went straight to the top.
Exactly. that embodies the StarCraft 2 scene. It's pretty funny.
Even though they've had a lot of competitions, I mean, Sasa, for example, defeated Snute, was a big win, but I didn't really care about it, although I always followed Sasa's progress in StarCraft 2, like, he's the man that I like to follow. It's just that I think that people don't really care until Heart of the Swarm is released, so
Yeah.
we are in some, like, mid-segment right now, and people will really care when
I agree.
MLG is happening, but everything before that is...
I agree, because
Yeah.
Mike's had the MLG matches on, and I've looked at it and I'm like, I'd like to watch it, but at the same time, these players probably don't even know what's going on. And if you look at Nurture's games yesterday, he was tweeting after the games, I don't even know what units to build or what this unit was, so it kind of takes the relevance away from
Yeah.
actually watching
True.
it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a lot more worth it to watch players who stream HOTS all the time because you're going to learn a lot.
Yeah,
more
I'd
from
rather
them.
watch a slightly lower level,
Yeah.
smaller name who's been grinding out hundreds of HOTS games as opposed to someone who's played 50 HOTS games.
But don't you enjoy watching Hellbat drops, man? I mean, that's like the best part of it.
Can I just drop a good comment from one of our guys in chat? Z Taki, I've said your name wrong. The casters and hosts make the show more special. It is important. It's not but it's not the end all. And I think that's a good way of summing up.
Yeah,
why,
I mean, I agree. It's like,
I would add one more thing though. Tournaments are always rated by the games. It's never about the production, so on and so forth. If it's great games, great personalities, a good story within the tournament,
that is your base.
That's
your base.
That's like okay.
That's
this
what
was
he's
a great tournament.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That is your base, but then that guy's saying, yeah,
It's
but the things on top just make it a little bit more
Flash
special.
versus
I mean,
rugby.
imagine having Hero win that kind of tournament at DreamHack in that arena, and then you just had absolute crap going on around him. You know, you wouldn't have had him come out on stage and just kind of give those moments that he gave. Just how
I
happy
agree.
he was.
I think the base is the players. Of course, it is,
Yeah, good.
especially in this year. But casters, personalities, good commentary, good production adds the extra. You know, like Flash versus Grubby at MLG. Every single body tuned in to watch that a couple of MLGs back, and then the casters Tastosis on top added that extra, you know, and make it more valuable.
All right, then. So let's move on from MLG. When is the event in Dallas? Is it end of March?
No, it's the 15th and 17th.
Yeah, it's the same week as release.
Okay, so make sure you stay tuned for that big first Heart of the Swarm tournament. The casters are announced, and we'll see who turns up and play. There's no open bracket. Happy to see In Control there doing some commentary as well. I think that'll be fun.
Definitely.
So looking for, I'll definitely be tuning in to see what he gets up to. I'm sure he'll get fired from an MLG stream just like me, and then we can join the same club.
Yeah.
Everyone says I was
No
fired
way.
from MLG. I wasn't
No
fired.
way.
I was doing it for free, and I just got kicked off because I was an asshole.
I saw that tip for not so long ago. It was still hilarious.
Thank you.
Although I would say that if you and Jeff were doing a commentary at MLG, you wouldn't last. You guys.
Yeah.
That's the two combination wouldn't. No.
Yeah, good. Excellent. That's what we go for. So GOM TV, moving on. GOM TV announces pre-season GSTL Heart of the Swarm show matches. What have you guys got to say about this?
Do you want to go this time?
No, I want you to go.
Well, I like the idea a lot, but once again, it brings back to the same point where are these players even playing the game? So for me, as someone that's watching HOTS right now to learn more about the game and to figure out stuff that I don't know that I can learn from others, is it going to be worth it to me to watch? At the same time, if it was a Wings of Liberty thing, straight in. Like, that's amazing to watch. So it's 50-50 right now for me, feeling towards it. It's great to see Axiom being able to do something finally. They'll be playing in it with Acer.
Yeah.
That'll be cool to see. But at the same time, it is HOTS. How much they're playing? Is it going to be worth watching?
I think it should work well because it's a team league format. So these guys, they're
You're
I'm
at least
sure
going to get a couple of people that
they're
are
going
good.
to want to play MVP, who actually played some really good HOTS the other night, as well as Nasty. But then they'll put in their players who have been focusing on HOTS. And I think a lot of the ESF teams, more so than the Casper teams. I mean, if you're not in the GSL Code S, I think you're basically playing HOTS now. So hopefully
it should still be good.
good
I'm
games.
definitely going to watch
So
it.
how long away is it? Do you know?
Oh,
It's probably in the document
yeah.
because my Wi-Fi cut out.
I
so-
don't have any laptop.
Wait.
It's relatively
It's pretty soon, I think.
And it's like
Yeah,
next
it must
week.
be, must
It's
be
it's
soon.
in a couple of days. It's like 5 days, 4
Yeah,
days.
I want to say like the 17th.
Oh, shit.
16th is the first.
I knew that was coming.
It's
yeah,
between the
it's the
16th
16th,
and
yeah.
25th.
All right,
16th, 17th.
You're taking the next shit, man.
16th to the...
You're also cleaning the showers.
Somebody
next
make a
time.
gift.
Look, could you stop arguing? You're like a fucking couple.
They are. They really are.
Newman, you need to be more badass. You're currently just on your phone.
I'm
What
just
happened to the
trying to
badass?
survive these boring topics. Fucking GSTL, who cares?
Isn't that what Karn said?
All right. So anyway, the tournament soon. So as mentioned by Sean, we don't know what level of Heart of the Swarm to expect. So it's kind of like you're tuning in to see really an unexpected kind of events of playstyles and strategies.
Yeah.
But GSL have finished all their Wings of Liberty now, right?
No.
No.
It's still Code A, Code S going
So
on.
and when does that finish?
I believe
Couple
the
more
end of the
weeks.
month
Yeah.
is when
Okay.
it's done.
So
there's
it is
gonna
a bit
be-
of an overlap.
Yeah, but as I said before, like GSL's at it's the round of 16 is
Yeah, so
finishing.
it's only 16
Oh,
players,
it's halfway
yeah.
through round of 16 right now.
Yeah, it's finishing.
This guy.
well,
I don't think he likes that I've come on to speak about StarCraft. He's like,
All right.
it was all about me! James used to ask me everything!
It's like being a parent. He was my first child, and then there's a second one in, and there's competition for...
James doesn't like me anymore!
Mike's fine with it.
If you hadn't been working out, then
Yeah, he'd take you. Okay, moving on from the GOM TV Heart of the Swarm show matches that you should tune into starting 15th of February. We got ESC, Esports Canadian Alliance announced.
Wait. ESC, Esport Canadian Alliance. Isn't it
Yeah.
ECA?
Well, someone put ESC, and I'm like Ron Burgundy. I'll read whatever's on the fucking teleprompter. ESC, Esports Canadian Alliance, announced local tournaments to qualify, dash, arrow, into open brackets. Finals. Into grand
But
finals.
isn't this a lot of major, or not major, but bigger Canadian lands going together?
Yeah,
to
no,
form
it's just
basically
like-
a league or ladder to qualify for
yeah,
IESF?
essentially what it is they're just going to tie some land events together and end up with some national champion who goes to ISF.
Best tournament.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
ISF is kind of a shit tournament, but it's good to see the Canadian scene kind of unifying a bit because the challenge with Canada is it's so goddamn big. That's like the West Coast is an 8-hour flight from the
Doesn't
East
have
Coast,
to be a
so-
qualifier for IESF every year. It could be for something else. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's still,
It's
low-level
about-
StarCraft, like
yeah.
university StarCraft.
and it's about building the
kind of-
national scene as well, like
Exactly.
Esport SM in Sweden and like ESL is doing in Germany and stuff like that. So
it's
it's
good.
really good.
Okay, and the champion will receive a trip to Korea to represent Canada in the International Esport Federation 2013 World Championship in South
mouthful.
Korea.
Who represented
This is old
Canada? Who represented Canada at the last major?
I'm
event you guys had?
99% at ISF. I don't think there was a
No,
Canadian
just at
representative.
any World event.
Scar.
No, they'd like
Scarlet.
Henderlisk at W.
It's Combat X.
Oh, yeah,
What's up,
Combat X.
bro?
Yeah, Combat X.
Combat X.
Adebisi,
Carrying the Canadian flag.
He took more games off partying than any Americans that I've seen, so or Brits for
That's
that
your
matter.
national pride there, bro.
But that was the tournament that Monchi won, right? Last
Semmler.
year?
ISF, yeah.
Yeah, and Shove the year before.
I'm going to need you to bring the bro back a little bit somewhere.
These guys have been working
calm
out
down,
all the
calm down a little
time,
bit.
and now
We'll calm down a little bit.
we got invited.
I still think that was fucking brilliant. That it was Combat X represent. You have Huck, Scarlet, and then Combat X goes to WCS and Rape Space.
Yeah, but
It was fucking awesome.
if we had In Control for America and then Combat X, it would have been something, I think. So.
What are you trying to say about In Control?
So the local
You trying to
tour-
start shit with him? I don't recommend it.
So basically, there's local tournaments in Canada. And the local tournaments will qualify into the grand finals under the Esports Canadian
It's not
Alliance.
just the tournaments, though, it's about working together, I think,
Yeah,
as well. I think
and
it's really
people working
important.
together. It's great in Canada. No one wants to fight.
Kumbaya.
Did you know Show won the first ISF?
You said like 10 seconds
Yes, I
ago.
did know that. Yeah,
I wasn't with Hellspawn.
How
I
much?
didn't know that.
What?
What?
all right, moving right along.
Move along.
What?
Chop chop.
All right,
Let's check the chat, bro.
bring the bro back somewhere. Like we went out and we got invited to a university party, and when Semmler was a bit wasted, when Semmler was in his natural
More happy.
My natural habitat.
he was getting invited to a university party, and you just went bro on that situation. You're like, yeah, man, I'll totally come in there.
He's like,
I'm your
Wednesday,
bro.
bring that
You
up,
guys
man.
are bringing chicks down there. I'm your bro, man. I come to your party. You the wingman.
You should
I'm
see
the
what I do in
bro.
LA with my.
I think that
down
Semmler
in my car.
should start in Swedish university
Yes, you should.
next semester.
You should. You should go to university in Sweden. Why not? Fuck it. What was
He's
he
the
going
most
to study?
suited guy of all of you.
Yeah,
is
I can
that?
obviously speak.
I've already
just look at this. I've already
graduated
got my
university,
application photo and
unlike-
everything.
Don't insult Swedish university students like that.
True.
Oh, James, just because you've never been, don't knock it.
It's a Swedish university. I was there the other day.
Yeah, I know we all were.
Hunchback Harding.
Yeah.
I wonder if you get like $10 for each time you plug that event, though.
Yes,
Alright.
that is true.
And you get a keypad mouse, maybe.
Player changes in StarCraft 2. Dark Force retires, returns to poker and casual gaming, or as my brother likes to call him, Dark Twat, because at the Home Story Cup. My brother qualified. My brother qualified for a poker game, and he was really into it, right? And then they decided between themselves, all the soccer players at the Home Story Cup, to start it earlier. And Dark Force took his place, and my brother's like massive, right? And he's like, they called him Dark Twat. Which was pretty scary for Dark Force, actually. He's kind of small, but he's returned to poker and casual gaming. What do you make of this?
Well, Hellspawn wants to talk.
Yeah, Hellspawn's got his hand up.
I think it was kind of hilarious that Dark Force will be remembered from that Home Story Nation Cup between Sweden and Germany, where Take brought in a stripper, and it was like a quite a hilarious event.
Most awkward moment ever.
Which ESL had on their front page or something like that. But I think I like Dark Force. It's always been like doing good results, but never having the breakthroughs. He did win against MVP, I think, at some event, which was like one of his biggest achievements, I think.
Wasn't it in ESL Season 1? He did really well?
That was,
I believe he played alive in that, didn't he?
He played alive.
Yeah.
But,
and he almost beat him. And
almost did.
At some events he's done good, but overall he's been overshadowed by the other German players, for example, Saki and House of Ops. And
But
so on and so
yeah,
forth.
as you said, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Didn't deserve the nickname from my brother.
But he lost all of his motivation to play a long time ago, so it makes sense, to be honest. He has been struggling with playing the game for over 6 months easily, so it makes sense for him to leave now.
All right then, so we'll leave it at that. We're okay with that one. Moving on, Fnatic parts ways with Oz and Alive. Cut down all Korean operations after spending over $250,000.
But if you listen to Total Biscuit, it's a lot of money you're spending in Korea.
Newman fires shots.
Oh, it's in fucking Swedish, Newman.
What? Okay,
Can't read your tweet.
So you can say it live on here, Newman. But yeah, so we already knew that Fnatic were kind of pulling out of the Korean market in terms of their presence with StarCraft. Gaming House closing down. Raidcool now not their sponsor. So Oz and Alive have gone.
We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks before.
Yeah. And they've also did they state that they spent $250,000?
Yes. It was in their on their website and their news. Part of it was
Can I just add
after.
that I think this is the first time I've seen an organization within esports saying how much they've spent. Especially in the same combination that this was a failure, kind of. We're pulling out, we're doing something else. So to me, it just says, okay, we spent $250,000, which we just burned, and it was not good. So that was really strange. But then it was just hilarious when at Rakaka it was a news item about this, and then Newman wrote that he thought that Karn should resign because of this.
I didn't.
What did you say, Newman? Because Rakaka,
I never mentioned anyone in the post. I made a comment on Rakaka, basically saying that if they spent this much money and got this result, someone needs to resign. That's what I said, and then someone took it out, made it a massive post on Rakaka as well, blowing it out of proportion, basically, in my opinion. But I don't know.
They do that?
It's funny. But I don't know, I stand by my point. I mean,
It's a lot of money.
it's a massive failure.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money. But
I mean,
if you think about where it's been spent-
$250,000 a year, that's $20,000 a month they're spending. But
Rent,
when you're
salaries, two
trying to
teams.
establish yourself in Korea, of course, there's going to be a lot of money, but I think they're overspent a lot, and they've basically achieved, I mean, in reality, nothing. I think they promoted Raid Called better when they were doing stuff in Europe, online stuff.
Agree.
And the house did nothing. I think the idea was really good from the get-go. They set it up really good. It was a good house. They had an office. They had like really good setup and stuff, but they never used it. I think they overpaid players way too much. They probably paid Moon like a fifth of that sum.
Most likely they
And they
paid him
probably
like
paid some of the
$50,000.
Korean coaches and stuff too much money. So they had no established base, and they tried to basically get an anchor or something in, but it didn't work at all. It's a failure.
Yeah. They sent their League of Legends team to the champion. The first season they got like 3-0, they knocked out, something like that. I don't know if maybe Riot paid that, I don't know, but it feels like my main problem was that Moon was their big shot, and they didn't use him at all. Like, he didn't go to that many events, he didn't promote them as well, and then they had a lot of very good Korean players, but they were not the public favorite ones. I think that both Oz and Alive are like super skilled, but they are not the big Koreans that you have a big crowd around. And like, was it Biol?
Yeah, Biol they had.
Also like really talented, but I don't think that anyone really knows who he is.
And it didn't really improve as well.
So I want to come back to the point is that, Oz and Alive have left. What does it mean for these players, do you think, Apollo and Mike? Because we're in the StarCraft 2 scene. Where do you think they're going to go?
Well,
what do you
they're
think their
joining
chances
the
are?
long line of other players that don't have teams.
No, I was going to say, though,
self-evident.
it's kind of a better time to become a free agent than like 2 weeks ago because Zubu basically picked up like every goddamn free agent there is. So, I mean, there's Squirtle and then a couple others, but there's not as many free agents as there was.
Squirtle, Symbol, Pole.
No, isn't Symbol on a Zubu?
Oh, yeah.
But what do
can't
you
see-
think, how do you rate them in terms of getting picked up quickly?
I
Like,
reckon Alive's got a good chance.
can't-
Oz, it's more difficult, I think, for Oz because Alive has played in a lot of international tournaments. He's won IPL 4.
For you.
So I think it's a lot more higher that
Who
he
won
will.
Iron Squid 1? Didn't Alive do that too?
No, MMA won that.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Sorry.
MMA, yeah.
I can't see any major organization in Europe or America though that needs a player will pick up a player.
It also depends on HOTS too, doesn't it?
yeah.
Because no one's going to pick up a player like that in HOTS right now. Even if they are good at Wings Liberty, I think people are going to wait a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a hard time to pick up a new player. And
So hopefully we get some more online competitions and people can show their skill
yeah.
level.
I mean, I do feel like
and
either of
pique
them
some
could probably
interest.
get onto an ESF team pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay. All
But
right.
it
Well,
should also be added that, I mean, Fnatic did invest and send their European players to a lot of events. Knight and Nama and Hearthstone were at a lot of events. Don't do that, Apollo. Like you're going in front of the camera. Man.
Sorry, I've got to go.
No,
Yeah.
but thing is that I think that they will and should pick up some more European players, and they're gonna invest in a house. They said in the statement in Europe, and have an academy. And if they can pick up one or two really strong Europeans, they will be back on it and like still be strong with
they
it.
said they're
StarCraft
adding 2 academy players, so probably not big names.
okay.
They'll switch
But
places.
I mean,
all-
they're switching back to a European strategy like
Yep.
we did. I mean, like we never. I mean, if you look at the European teams, they basically never went into the Korean market that much as the American teams.
Hey, Apollo,
Except,
don't worry about climbing the ladder and being 5 minutes late. Chanman loves us.
I know he does, but I was also meant to be there 20 minutes before, not 10.
Oh, well, you're an
You're the
asshole.
star of the show, though. You can do whatever you
I
want.
gotta go.
All right, well, let's just wrap up. Can we? Let's just wrap up the StarCraft 2 a little bit faster than.
I was to end this part just. Karn has applied as the Dignitas StarCraft 2 division. He's a diamond player, so I think he's based in UK and will be suited.
Yeah, he's in London.
Yeah.
Pick him up.
Who's
Right,
Karn?
moving on. I'm gonna read out the topics, guys. Okay,
Alright.
and then you're gonna decide which ones that you think are interesting enough to talk about. Okay. So
Sorry, Chan man, I'll be there soon.
the last one is Root recruits lesser known Swede succeeds.
Skip.
I bet Hellspawn is really excited about that one.
In caps.
Very strange.
No,
Skip.
Very strange.
One point, the funny thing is he's moving to Peru to play. That's funny.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Oh, he's living in the Root gaming house in Katz's bedroom.
Yeah.
Skip.
Okay. Tournament results. The University Star League finals in Stockholm
Skip,
finished.
skip,
Light
skip.
already.
Mandalis taking first place. Hunchback James cited.
Congratulations, awesome sighting. Skip.
Parting, CJ
Skip.
Hero, Rain, Baby Knight, Sase, Innovation, and last, qualify for MLG Dallas.
Good players. Skip.
Yeah.
Lots of Korean
I
scoring.
actually
Skip.
quite enjoy having you on the show now, Apollo. ESF MLG Dallas qualifier
next.
streamed live by
Talked about it. Skip.
Gazado, Jakazi, and MVP qualified. I
We
don't
talked
know.
about this before. He
Did
messed
we?
up. He live streamed something that they're going to broadcast in the future. Skip.
Who live streamed it?
One of the Korean
The
guys.
ESF Code caster. Go, keep going.
Skip.
Okay, naughty him. Lucifron wins IPL Dice event 3-0 over Scarlet.
You said it all right there.
Lucifron won without losing a single game. Also, somehow, the main event page says Lucifron won 10k.
Yeah, he played really well. Lucifron's a hit or miss player. I think it really depends on how he's feeling. He's feeling good, he wins.
I think that we could come back to some topics from the DICE event
I'm really
overall
gonna go.
in the end, but for StarCraft, skip.
What was
I
that?
hope-
That was a good.
I hope your sex sessions are as fucking long as your...
They are very pleased.
Day.
Right, what's next?
Well, he's got 2.
Oh, we've got this week in StarCraft 2. So that's actually the
my
topics
God.
that we were meant to talk about. So
Just do that at the very end of the show.
You had an
Done.
option. Is there anything that you really wanted to talk about? Anything that kind of stood out, guys? We've talked about a lot of
In this week.
in what I've just talked about. You know, the dice and anything at all.
We covered it.
Okay, don't watch Chandman. It's going to be horrible.
I got
today.
7 minutes before it starts. I got to get my webcam on and everything. He's going to be so
Skip.
angry.
All right.
Skip.
And so what we do is we come back to tell you what's on what's on this week in StarCraft 2 and Dota after the commercial break when we come back with Statman, motherfucking Bruno.